If Toji has 1,000,000 fans, then I'm one of them. If Toji has one fan, then I'm that one. If Toji has no fans, that means I'm dead. For real though, I actually really enjoyed Toji Fushiguro's character in Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, fair warnings ahead, there will be spoilers up to Season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen. A little bit in the manga, but it's not going to go past where Season 2 is, so it's pretty much not a spoiler if you've already seen up to Season 2. Also, slight spoiler for God of War 2018, and I will spoil most of The Last of Us 1. Let me start off by asking you 2 questions. Firstly, what does it mean to be good? Second, what does it mean to be a good father? Third, can you be bad but be a good father? Toji is a complex and complicated man. He grew up in such a complex and complicated world, the world of Jujutsu. But to add to that complicated world already that we see throughout most of Season 2, especially with the Geto and Gojo hidden inventory arc, Toji grew up in one of the big 3 families, the Zenin. Then to top it off, he was born without cursed energy, a normal human. A worthless monkey in their eyes, one with a heavenly restriction, mind you, but still a worthless monkey all the same. No better than any other run-of-the-mill human. Toji was immediately seen as worthless, with being born without any cursed energy. His one saving grace might have been that he wasn't a girl, so he was seen as maybe a step above what Maki was. Even that didn't protect him from the torture and torment of the Zenin clan's boundless cruelty. The scar along his lip was earned at a young age when the Zenin clan threw Toji into a pit filled with cursed spirits. Knowing that makes me wonder if, on some level, he may have understood Gojo Satoru. Both from a young age were wanted dead, Toji by his family since they considered him a black mark on their reputation, and Gojo by the higher-ups in the Jujutsu world, the conservative factions, the old guard, because they were scared of how that boy would affect their world, how he would shake things up. Toji's anguish wouldn't end there, given how we see the Zenin family members talk down to and generally about Maki. We can assume they spoke in a similar manner to Toji. Toji was not only physically abused by his family, but the emotional and mental torment as well must have been hell on its own. Toji didn't have a twin like Maki who could share his burden with. Someone he could confide in, someone to help split the ire of the clan between. This hell laid the foundation and ultimately created the man who would go on to kill a god. I say all of that to give a reference that Toji's early life made him into the Sorcerer Slayer, an infamous assassin who would go toe-to-toe with special grade cursed spirits and sorcerers. Doesn't necessarily justify all the wrong that Toji does throughout his life. We don't know the full extent of what he did or does. Toji is referred to as being a gambler and a womanizer. He also has no problem intimidating and threatening random people who get in his way. That combined with the fact that he's an assassin, a job that isn't considered moral and good, especially since he has the title Sorcerer Slayer, I think it might be easier to break up Toji's life into stages at this point. Stage 1 would be his childhood and his time suffering under the horrors of the Zenin clan. Stage 2 could be considered the birth of the Sorcerer Slayer and the start of all his bad habits. Stage 3 is the complex part. This is what I would refer to as the Papa Fushiguro phase. When he meets Mama Fushiguro, marries her, takes her last name, breaking free of the Zenin clan, but most importantly, radically changing himself, turning around his life and his habits and having Megami. We know that Toji stopped acting as a Sorcerer Slayer during this phase. For some time, he mentions during and after his fight with Gojo that he is rusty and only just now starting to remember how to be the Sorcerer Slayer. Stage 4 would be his return to his title of Sorcerer Slayer. We see this play out during the hidden inventory arc at the start of Season 2. The final and 5th phase is his resurrection, and again we see this whole phase play out during the Shibuya incident. Now that we're in the Papa Fushiguro phase of Toji's life though, I want to run down a quick checklist to see the good and bad Toji has done up to this point. For the good, there isn't any evidence he would cheat on the women he was with. It seemed like he was loyal, at least. But he jumped from woman to woman until he found Mama Fushiguro. A womanizer, yes, but doesn't seem like Toji was a cheater, so that's something, I suppose. Anyways, now on to the bad. Well, as already said, womanizer, assassin, threatened people, and gambling addict, we know for sure, but during the Papa Fushiguro phase, it is said that Toji not only stayed with Mama Fushiguro and Megami, though their time together was short, he quit gambling and stopped being an assassin. He dropped the Sorcerer Slayer life. So is Toji a good guy? Well, up to this point in his life, I think it's pretty clear to say no. Yes, Toji had a hellish childhood, and that shaped and created the psyche of a man who would fall into these pitfalls in life more easily. That doesn't excuse his terrible actions. Sure, he may be more prone to it, but he still makes a decision at the end of the day. If an addict can kick their addiction and make the difficult decision to give up the drug that held their life in a vice grip, I think it's reasonable to say that even Toji could make those tough decisions, to not fall into these pitfalls and make the right decisions in life, even if making them may have been more difficult. Now, the being a good or bad father question may be more difficult to calculate. Got to be a father for the rest of his 2 lives, until Gojo killed him the first time, and the second time he died when he took his own life. We see the image of Toji holding a baby Megumi, a man who is excited and happy. This happens when Gojo kills him at the end of his first life. The only time we see Toji happy is when he thinks he is about to get paid, typically through gambling. Though when that falls through, he immediately loses the smile and falls back into his apathetic nature. We see Toji with a wide grin on his face the second time he faces Gojo because part of him wants to tear down the Jujutsu world. The third time is when he takes his own life, after discovering he was fighting Megumi. Now comes something that may be more difficult to figure out and why I asked the 2 separate questions in the beginning. Well, technically 3, but what does it mean to be good and what does it mean to be a good father? Trying to think of how to define a good father made me think of Joel from The Last of Us. I think it's pretty easy to say that Joel isn't a good guy, not only for what he does throughout the game, but also for what is alluded to that he did during a 20-year time skip. When entering Pittsburgh and being ambushed by a raider pretending to be injured after the encounter, he tells Ellie he knew what was happening because he had been on both sides before. Even in The Last of Us 2, Ellie tells Dina that Joel pissed off a lot of people in his life. In The Last of Us, when Joel has a private conversation with Tommy remarks that he still has nightmares of the horrors of their time together, to which Joel responds he was keeping them alive. Joel isn't exactly Mr. Rogers, but during The Last of Us, we watch as he and Ellie go from loathing being around one another to seeing each other as kind of a family. Ellie is his surrogate daughter and Joel is the father in this little makeshift family. Though the horrors they see, Ellie is scared to lose Joel. So when at Tommy, she hijacks a horse, runs away, after which Joel confronts her at the ranch house and ultimately telling her that no, she isn't his daughter and they are going to part ways. This breaks Ellie's heart, but on the quiet and somber ride back to Tommy's, Joel looks sad. He sees Ellie's depression and sadness in her. He's sad that Ellie is going and mad at himself because Ellie looks upset and depressed, and he knows he caused all of that by what he said to her. So, in the end, he changes his mind and continues to adventure on with her. At the end of the game, you find out that to make a cure, they have to kill Ellie and remove her brain. At the knowledge that his surrogate daughter is going to die, Joel rampages through the hospital, killing fireflies that get in his way, killing the doctor who's about to start the operation, and finally saving Ellie's life. Now, look, I know there are many problems with the ending in this game. The Fireflies are still terrorists at the end of the day, and the likely odds of them really giving out the vaccine are low at best. Realistically, they are more likely to use it for more terrorist activities. Vaccine for their people, using it to hold over others, while sacrificing others who are against them, and the odds of them even successfully making a vaccine on the first try with only 1 shot are realistically next to 0. But even if you don't know all that, and all you think is that your daughter is about to die to save humanity, or potentially not even save humanity, would you let her die? Ultimately, it didn't matter to Joel whether or not they could make a vaccine. That wasn't even a deciding factor to him. Joel loved Ellie like a daughter. Ellie loved Joel like a father. And Joel had lots of past trauma from having his daughter Sarah die in his arms. Ellie said she wanted to stay and be with Joel again at the ranch house scene. And Joel wanted to be with her given all he did for her throughout the game, including attacking the cannibals' camp to try and rescue Ellie from David. Is Joel a good father? Would other fathers in that situation do exactly what he did? I would say yes. I think maybe in the end Joel was really a good father. Toji is a deadbeat dad. Can't deny that. He's not winning any Dad of the Year awards. His son Megumi doesn't even know what he looks like. When Gojo finds the young Megumi, he tells him that everyone wants to know about his dad, just ask Gojo. But in a decade, clearly, Megumi never did, since he didn't even recognize his dad when he fights him in Shibuya. Though this event in Shibuya is important, I believe, in understanding Toji's mindset. In the manga, it says that Toji's just an agent of chaos, working on instinct alone and attacking the strongest opponent around him at the time. After defeating Dagon, everyone stares at Toji and wonders if he is even on their side. They quickly learn he isn't, because Toji is again acting as that agent of chaos and searching for his next opponent. He wastes no time attacking Megumi. During the fight between Toji and Megumi, Toji gets a good look into Megumi's eyes and at his face, forcing him to immediately jump back from their hand-to-hand combat. The only thing on Toji's mind at that moment, between the special grades running amok at Shibuya and the fight he had with Megumi, was asking Megumi, "What is your name?" Obviously, in the middle of a fight, Megumi is caught a little off guard by this question, but answers anyway, telling him his name is Fushiguro. This once again brings those rare, genuine smiles to Toji's face, and no money is involved this time. You see, as the darkness in his eyes disappears, and Toji takes his own life, telling Megumi he's glad to hear that his name is Fushiguro and not Zenin. Before we get to see all of that, a scene actually plays out of the day that Toji sold Megumi to the Zenin clan, most likely not long after Mama Fushiguro passed away, since Naobito says he will pay 7,000 if the boy has no inherited curse technique, and 8,000 if the boy has an inherited curse technique. With inherited curse techniques typically appearing between 4 and 6 years old, there's then a black panel in the manga with just a white text that says, "Take care of Megumi, okay?" The only person I can see who is saying this at this moment is Mama Fushiguro. Her dying words, her dying wish for Toji. She was the one who changed Toji into a semi-decent guy, or at least started him on the pathway to it. She was leaving him behind and her son Megumi. She must have seen how Toji handled Megumi. The picture of that day Megumi was born, Toji holding him close and cherishing their son Megumi. She most likely believed that Toji could be a good father and could even become a good person if he kept to this path and used his son as his motivation to keep going, to make the right choices and changes for him. Sadly, that didn't happen. Toji lapses back into his old ways. He doesn't believe in himself. He doesn't believe he could be a good guy or even a good father. Toji knew of the evil and darkness that lurked in the Jujutsu world. Not only what happened to him, he walked in those shadows, in that darkness as the Sorcerer Slayer. Could he, a man who has done so much wrong in his life, ever be a good father? Or would he just curse his son with his past?
There's nowhere you can hide, Spartan. Put as much distance between you and the truth as you want. It changes nothing. Pretend to be everything you are not. Teacher, husband, father. But there is one unavoidable truth you will never escape. You cannot change. You will always be a monster.
I know.
I think this is why Toji ultimately sells Megumi to the Zenin clan. They're a powerful clan, one of the big three. They could afford the proper training and education. They could protect and provide him a meal and a roof over his head. They could also make sure he would advance quickly through the ranks of the Jujutsu hierarchy, maybe even helping him get into a grade 1 sorcerer. They had enough influence to stop Maki from advancing, so they probably have enough to help him advance. Once the deal is done, Toji doesn't even look happy about it. He has this spiteful look on his face, like he hates the way things are, and he has to just accept something that he has no power to change. He even forcibly tries to convince himself that he doesn't care about the situation by repeating to himself, "I don't care." If he didn't care at all, then why sell Megumi for money? If he was truly apathetic to his son, he would just abandon him and be done with it. Instead, he sells Megumi to the Zenin clan, being haunted by the words, "Take care of Megumi," by thinking to himself that at least he'll be okay. He has a shot of being okay in the Zenin clan. He sells Megumi to the Zenin clan, showing some emotion in the situation. Now, as I've said, I think he sells Megumi to the Zenin because he doesn't think he can care for his son properly. He can't be a good father and he can't practically provide for him. Toji's just a terrible person who would ruin his son's life if he stayed around. The only time he became respectable was when he was with Mama Fushiguro, but without her, his life is going to hell and he knows he's bound to drag anyone around with him. This is why he can smile in the end and take his own life when he hears Megumi's name is Fushiguro, not Zenin. Not because Toji won or the Zenin lost by not getting Megumi. Toji's still dead and the Zenin will keep being awful to others because Megumi won. By having Gojo take care of Megumi, instead, Megumi gets everything the Zenin would have been able to offer. Protection now from the strongest sorcerer around, education and training from Jujutsu Tech and Gojo, a place to live and sleep at the school, but most importantly of all, Megumi gets freedom and the right to choose who he wants to be. As Gojo once put it, at least you get to pick your own hell. Likely if he lived with the Zenin, they would have taught him their philosophy on Jujutsu and corrupted him into their way of thinking. But without that influence, Megumi got to choose who he would save or not. His philosophy on Jujutsu, and ultimately if he wanted to be a sorcerer at all, or just walk away from it like Nanami once did. I think the best piece of evidence for Toji quite possibly being a good father is Megumi's name, which means blessing. Megumi is a name given by Toji because Megumi is his blessing. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I greatly appreciate you hanging out, staying to the end. I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.